Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is January the 5th, 2026. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Monday. Happy Garfield Day. Hopefully you got that lasagna and everything that comes with it. Maybe some seconds. For me, today was good. It was dynamic. It was a lot. But we can break it down real quick. We can go ahead and just run it through. So, how did he sleep? You know how that went. It was a Sunday night into a Monday. You know how I slept. Not well. Or maybe too well, so to speak, depending on how you're looking at it. Because I went to sleep at like 10 something and then woke up in the middle of the night. I was watching live streams. That's me. That's me every time that happens. And so, I wound up being able to go back to sleep in the middle of the night. I think I got like an hour, in that dead time. So it could have been worse. We'll take it. We get up, we get to work, and there was a little bit of cardboard buggies to work with at the start of my day. And I was like clinging on to them like Jack from Titanic. Like, I only want to let go, but I know I'm going to have to, So we get through that, and I get called, as I'm finishing up my last buggy, like, hey, Isaiah, when you get done, we need you to come up because we want to train you on, this thing today, which was going to be putbacks. And I was not excited because it requires me to know, to pick up a new tool. I've technically used it once in training, but I didn't really have to actually use it, And it's called an RF gun. And this is the tool that we use if you're not on headset upstairs, pretty much. And in this situation, you're using this tool to put back clothes that have been, misput, errors, I guess you can say, or clothes that got lost from the bin. They fell out, misplaced, whatever. They wind up going to a putback section. We, organize all that, and then it gets, delineated back out, so that was the job that I was set to do for the day. And they wanted me to do that for the whole day, mind you. So I had a quick training run with my lead. They were very helpful. They were very patient. And it's one of those things where I hate this because this is where I realize oh no, I'm 35 years old and it kind of starting to show in a bad way. You're giving me a piece of technology, and if I'm not savvy with it, I'm just all fucking thumbs, and I just am laughing at myself and I feel so stupid. Just not remembering little things about it or whatever. So we get through one run and they let me go by myself. And they said, I'm supposed to be doing this all day. I do 2 bins and I'm getting through one. I'm shaky. I call for help, but I'm able to figure it out. Cause the situation was okay, yeah, I'll get to you. But this is a person that they're running around. They're doing all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So they're not going to be able to get to me right away. So I was able to figure it out. I'm okay, so I do got this. I'm good. I can do this. And then I get to an aisle, and there's someone who's I think doing some kind of bin maintenance or something like that, and they have their cart and they're working it. This is a different department, mind you, and they are working a little bit further ahead, but their cart is where I need to be. So I move their cart aside to scan the next thing, and they come back to me and they go, "Oh, you can't say excuse me?" And I'm just like, "What?" And I'm stun locked because this is an older person, and I don't want to get into it today. This is my first real day at the job type beat because my new supervisor that I had the beef with is gonna be on. I'm not trying to do anything here, okay? I'm supposed to be on some new leaf shit. So I'm just oh, excuse me, I just had to get here, and truly I thought about it. I did not want to distract this person. I don't know if they're doing a count. I don't know what they're doing. I just need to move your thing, which is it's not this is your magical broomstick. This is a thing you're using for the day. It's your work cart that maybe has your things on. I'm not rifling through it. I'm moving it aside. it was kind of crazy to me, but I know I can't act out. Technically, I guess I am the asshole because I didn't move like a young pilgrim. Like, whatever, fine. And so, but the problem here really isn't this person chiding me. It is the fact that on this part of it, the gun's not working. Like, it's just not working. And I'm like, what? Like, what am I doing wrong? And I'm trying to figure out how to back, and I can't. I don't know what to do now, and I'm clamming up. Knees weak, arms are heavy. You know what I mean? Vomit on my sweater already type shit. And so I'm worried. What do? I actually know that the lead who's helping me is, like, on break. So, like, I am kind of in the lurch here. And I know what I have to do because I know the area I'm at in the warehouse, like it's right next to my new supervisor. And I literally like peek out like a Scooby-Doo character and I see that they're talking to another employee about something. And like, mind you, this is technically another op or whatever, but that's not the point here. And they see me, see them and they go, "Hey Isaiah, you need something? This isn't that serious. Like, what's up?" And I scamper over. And I go, I think I did something wrong. I need some help. And the supervisor comes over and tries to help me. And I love this interaction because it's very similar kind of to the interaction that we had at the Crusher that was such a kerfuffle. Only there's like no static, no tension because I'm not going to give anything here. Like, I'm literally giving helpless. I'm giving victim uppies, please. And so, you know, they come over. They're trying to work the gun. I can kind of see maybe they're a bit rusty with it, but they know a little bit of thing or two. They eventually come to the conclusion of, oh, the gun's broke. Just get a new gun. So mid this whole fucking put back routine, I have to go back to the bullpen, get a new gun, register it, do all this fucking thing, come back. Mind you, my break has already supposed to have been happening like 10 minutes ago. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to finish this thing. God help me. And then I'm going to take this whole thing back. And I'm going to take my break. That's what I'm going to do. I know I'm going to do that. And I managed to get everything done. The new gun is working. Everything works. Also, I realized, we were just pressing the wrong button collectively between the two of us. Because the lead was like, oh, yeah, just press that button. And then this, and this. And I was like, oh, my bad. Anyway. But I finish it. And I go, okay, I'm going to take my break. And then I'm going to come back. And they're like, okay. And I go, bye. And I scamper away. And I take my break. And I'm just floored. I'm floored. Because this is a nightmare. This is everything that I hated. And like, this might just be the beginning. Who knows what fresh tutorial they might throw me into next. And I'm just like, oh my God, I have to do this all day. I do this all day. This is my nightmare. Nightmare. Mind you, they literally have the strategy of while I'm doing this and put back purgatory, they have other door operators, other people pulled off from their job to come check on the Crusher. My job. My essential job. My main job. And I just go, I'm going to go check on the Crusher and see what happens. That's what I'm going to do now. And so I come back from my break. I go to the Crusher. I see there's like a few buggies and I just work. I just get back to work and I say, you know what? I'm the asshole here. I will admit it. This is not where you're going to get my big old monologue about how I'm right and I'm pounding my chest and how they're wrong. No, this is paradigm shift. We're in a different, I'm on a new team now. And I have to say, yeah, I fucked up here. I fled, I retreated, I Homer Simpsoned to my cardboard, and I didn't say shit. And I waited for them to come for me. And that was what I was going to do, and I was going to kowtow to them. And then come tomorrow, that's what happens. You're going to hear about me kowtowing to them. I'm going to be like, I'm so sorry. Forgive me. Because I couldn't do it. I'm like, I get it. If you need me to do this in the throes of it, I will do it. But please don't make me do this for a whole day, especially when there's work downstairs for me to do. Because I just chained that work downstairs for the rest of the day, even to the point where like the person who is my secondary who comes to cover me when I'm gone, they came down, we worked together the whole rest of the day, had like a really cool conversation about music. It's always fun to pick this guy's brain because they are very like I I want to say like analytical about it. Like the way they view music is they're just so fascinated by it. Like he told me he went through a whole like top 100 playlists like from this website, like a curated, community curated thing. And we were just like talking about it and like his opinions on this songs and these songs. And I was just like so interested in it because I'm like, man, this dude is about it. I miss being younger and like having that like drive, you know? And like I still have it for things. I think I have it for like the gym. I have it for like this and things of that nature. But like really seeing someone just saying like, no, I love this thing to like a critical nature. I just think it's so sweet. I think it's so awesome. So I like picking his brain about that. But anyway, I did that as opposed to doing what I was supposed to do. And that's a my bad. That's a mea culpa. I didn't get any static. Like at one point, even my lead was like, hey, are you on the second floor or are you at the crusher? And I was like, I'm wrapping up at the crusher. They're like, oh, okay. All right. And they didn't really say anything. So hopefully we're good. I'm hoping that we're coming to this conclusion of like, hey, if Isaiah is down to play ball and he's not going to sit in maintenance and be a bum, he's going to come help us out upstairs, then like that's what we want from him. You know, we want him to just be busy. I can be busy, baby. I can do that. But like, please, they hate me up there. They want to skin me alive. I'm coming up the works. Please, just put me downstairs. I'm a troll person now. I've been off the grid for too long. You just can't put me up there. Not for too long, man. Not on those tasks. Like I can cardboard run, but please, I'm begging. That's what I'm manifesting. Okay, that's what I'm manifesting via my podcast. Is that they don't, you know, put me on putbacks for forever, and they don't put me on door. That's another one I might get trained on soon. Knock on wood, I don't. So yeah, I mean that was my work day, y'all. Overall, though, it was a good day. Like, I know I'm sounding like I went through it, and like in those moments I did. But overall, it was a good day. I think it's nice to be in the new year. I'm scared. I'm definitely apprehensive about what's going to come next, and I don't like that. But I think in a way, I do like that I'm already adapting. You know, like that conversation I had with my supervisor where we were literally working together and there was no like tension or static. And at the end of the day, you know, I saw him, he saw me. There wasn't anything. It was good. You know, have a good day. You have a good day. Like, I'm hoping, and Isaiah, you're being fucking fake. Yeah, I'm keeping it fucking 98 degrees, that motherfucker. Yeah, I don't care. I need to make it. I need a paycheck. So yeah, I think things can work. I do, but I just really hope that this is not my Hollywood humiliation ritual and they gotta fucking drag me around the bases and I gotta go all the way around the bend and, you know, put the RF gun up my butthole. Please don't make me, you know, that's what I'm hoping for. And I lost that motherfucking gun like 3-4 times, man. Ugh. Like I used to like look at people like, damn, yeah, you almost forgot your gun, bro. That's crazy. And now I'm one of them motherfuckers. So yuck. I hate it. Anyway. I gotta take a water break and we're mid-blog. I'm sorry. That's when you know the yap session is real. You gotta take a water break. So post work, we grab a white monster because we're ready to get it. We're going into Mordor. This is New Year for real, all right? Because, like, yeah, we had New Year last week, right? You know? But the motherfucking shit doesn't hit the fan until the next, you know, Monday, Tuesday proper. You know what I mean? So I was going into it knowing this was going to be thick. Parking lot was deep. Honestly, though, not so bad for week one of the New Year's resolution goers and all that kind of stuff. Definitely busy. I came in and I couldn't get a Smith machine. I initially got a bench that I wanted, an incline bench, so I got it, and I did like the heavier part of my lifts, my movements there, and then like as I was finishing up that part of it, I saw a Smith machine open. I said, Isaiah, cut your losses here, get that Smith machine, do it. So I did, and I got a good like full movement situation there, got all my stuff done. Also, this is a theory I'm now starting to cook. I'm almost wondering if some of my joint pain, like from my ankle specifically, that might be my problem spot for like my squats. Because I know some people like have asked me, because I squat every day, and they mention to themselves like, hey, I have a shoulder thing, I have an elbow thing from doing squats, and I always go, why? Like, I think to myself, like, why? Like, that's not the main like body part that you're using, right? But like, it happens because this is a whole complex movement. I get that, right? I get that you can have some incidental damage, and I'm wondering, is my incidental damage a little bit of the ankle? Because I started feeling it as I was going for some lifts, like as I was doing them, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, I do kind of feel it in my ankle. Maybe that has something to do with it. And I'm sure it's taking a whole village to make this shit hurt. But I wonder if maybe that's a factor. I always want to know what's really, causing the pain, right? So I can at least like either take a break from it or whatever, kind of like when I had the rotator cuff issue, right? Like I knowing what it was and figuring out, oh, it's this movement, I need to change how I'm doing this movement or not do it altogether, that was really insightful. But, once again, it might just be a culmination of things, so who knows? And honestly, I hope it's not, because I'm not stopping the squats, that's for sure. Anyway, every other part of my workout went generally well. I didn't necessarily get back on the incline bench to finish the rest of my routine, but I feel like I more or less got it in sweat, so I'm okay. I feel good about it. I will say I noticed that there were so many people on cardio, which makes sense. Once again, we're talking New Year's resolution goers. You usually are coming in, and what is the safest thing you can do? It's cardio. It makes the most sense, and it's useful. It's the most useful thing you can do in the dark, especially if it's really fucking busy and you're a little nervous. You know what I mean? Like, completely get that. So a lot of people were on treadmills, and I was on the Stairmaster, and I was like, I could get in the thick of it with one of these treadmills, but it's like so busy on them that I would have to maybe even go upstairs potentially. Let me just stay on the Stairmaster and just do that for 30 minutes. And then I'll do my elliptical in my bike. And so that's what I did. Got a good burn there. And I would say a W gym session. Excuse me. I was like, ooh, that burp is coming. So I'm happy with that. If that is the pace for the year, for the gym goers, for the new ones, I'll take it. You know what I mean? But I always have this oscillating thought, like, am I rooting for the new guys or am I rooting against them? And you want to be the good guy and you say, yeah, I'm rooting for them. But technically, if I'm being honest, if we're keeping it a fucking stack between you and I, they're kind of in my way, right? Like, I kind of need the stuff. I kind of need you out of my way. And, like, I just am more arced up, just like maybe not anybody, but a lot of people. Like, I don't like when I need to get to a spot and then, oh, you're in the way, and then I have to potentially get lectured by you. And, bro, you just started coming back? Like, don't talk to me, bro. Ew, gross. I will say, though, I had a sweet story, but a bit wholesome. I'm on the leg press. And, like, midway through this motherfucker, and someone, like, taps on it, and it's one of the employees, like, the employee I've, kind of had some dialogue with. Overall, very, very good person, but, every once in a while, they kind of irk me out, like, why are you talking to me? Like, kind of let me do my thing. But they tap on the press, and I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? I take the headphone out. They're giving a tour to, I guess, like, a couple or something like that. And they ask me, hey, how long, like, it's been about a year, right? And I'm like, yeah, about a year and a half since I came through. And they're like, how much weight have you lost? Which, technically, that's a very personal thing to ask. You're lucky that I have, like, a very slutty personality, and I'm down to tell you. Because I want the world to know how fat I was. I was like, yeah, like about 70 pounds. And they're like, yeah, about 70 pounds in a year? Like, yeah, about a year and a half. I kept saying that. And the one of the guys was like, oh, man, gee, that's great. Like, how often do you come here? He's like, probably about, like, 3 days or something. I come every day. I show up about every day. He goes, oh, that's awesome. And all of a sudden, I just turned into, like, a fucking, like, promo guy. I'm like, yeah, you can totally just get in here, no matter how busy, any time of the day, and just find a place and get comfortable. It's totally, like, a thing. Like, that's why I come. I go op mode. And, and they seem like a nice couple. I'm like, yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys around. So, I mean, that is how fucking ratted up I am in this fucking gym. I'm hitting the slogans for them. But yeah, I mean, that was kind of nice that someone noticed, that's cool. And also, I apparently, they had mentioned too in this moment, they're like, yeah, I started working around the time you started here. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I guess that's maybe why you think we're like some kind of kindred spirit thing or something, because whatever. Anyway. I get through the workout. Workout was good. W's. And we get home. I do my stretch. I get my snack. And I do some research. And I took a whiskey drink. I took a cider drink. And it's time to talk about some fucking news. Let's fucking do our startup and let's get into it. I should have done that song like last week. I get knocked out, but I get up again. Oh. All right. Our first story is from The Independent. Mark Kelly has retirement pay cut by Pentagon over illegal orders video. Pete Hegseth announces. Ooh. Senator Mark Kelly is set to see his retirement rank and pay cut after making seditious statements in a video featuring several other lawmakers that told troops they can and must refuse illegal orders. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth moved to censor Kelly, an Arizona Democrat, on Monday, telling Fox News Digital that he directed Secretary of the Navy John Phelan to review the retired Navy captain's retirement rank and pay and provide a recommendation in 45 days. 6 weeks ago, Senator Mark Kelly and 5 other members of Congress released a reckless and seditious video that was clearly intended to undermine good order and military discipline. As a retired Navy captain who is still receiving military pension, Captain Kelly knows he is still accountable to military justice, and the Department of War and the American people expect justice. Hegseth also wrote on X, "These motherfuckers think they're so hard when they talk like this, and it just sounds like you are the weirdest Liam Neeson, like Steven Seagal fucking prop boy. I don't get it. Like, it's not giving what you think it is. Like, I know you think it's giving like God of War, but you're not him, bro. We've seen you do chin-ups. You're not him. It's what it truly is giving is petty. It's, oh, you said that, hey, don't do an illegal order. It's like, yeah, man, which is also too, I feel like I've kind of touched on this. It's not like these Democrats did anything fucking like revolutionary. These motherfuckers were on some Paul Revere shit. Like, you can refuse illegal orders. You know that, right? Like, cool, man. Like that's so awesome. They're probably not going to do that because like, it's kind of their job. They kind of signed up to do the fucking shit. They're kind of about that action. Like you were when you were down to do it. And then you decided not to. And now you're a blue wave Democrat. You're real cool. Center of the fucking whatever. Like, once again, why did you do this? You did it for clout. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't feel like there's much moral here. There's not, but whatever. You wanted to make your little point. You wanted to make your little stand. You got it. They heard you. And the Department of War is like, we're going to dock your pay, buddy. So, I mean, that's more or less the story. I'm kind of giving it Isaiah's way. I mean, we could talk about his resume. I mean, he's been to space. I mean, shit, his wife got shot in the head, which feels like a weird thing to throw up as like a bona fide. Like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to her and you guys, but like, oh, all right, red. But I don't really feel like talking about all that. I don't really care about any of these people. Like, in terms of like the motherfuckers who are like, yeah, you can refuse the orders. Or do I care about the Department of War? Or do I care about Donald Trump? Like, oh, you guys are all butthurt about it. Oh, and I'm sure this guy, he's already a senator. So, he's getting his little, pay down. I will say on the principle, that's fucked, right? Like, however you feel about the military, the industrial complex, whatever. But like, you're a worker, you did a service. I will completely agree with Kelly on that. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? This is ridiculous. He does get a chance to, I think, like, dispute this, do like a rebuttal or something. So maybe we'll come back to an update if like this gets turned over or something, or if he has to take it on the chin. I also don't know how much money he lost. Maybe that in the future, some smart guy, some expert military guy will tell me and the calculation on a podcast, and then I can come back and tell you. I don't fucking know. Anyway, let's move on. Like I said, I don't really give a shit about that one. It's kind of a nothing burger. But anyway, we eat a lot of nothing burgers, though, in this house. Anyway, from The Guardian. The Guardian. Wisconsin judge resigns after being convicted of obstructing immigrant arrest. So this is an update on, I guess now former judge Hannah Dugan. The Wisconsin judge convicted of obstruction for helping an immigrant evade federal officers has resigned. Hannah Dugan was convicted on December 19th and faced calls to resign from state Republicans who threatened to impeach her if she did not. Dugan, who served 9 years as a Milwaukee County Circuit Court judge, received national attention when when immigration authorities tried to arrest Eduardo Flores Ruiz, who is undocumented, attending a hearing in her courtroom. The judge confronted FBI and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE agents, outside the room to arrest Flores Ruiz and directed them to the chief judge's office, according to the indictment. And I respect Dugan's, logic here is like, hey, you're here for a case. Whether or not you're here for this case is, right or wrong in terms of, are you guilty, not guilty? That's what we're here to fucking find out. What they're doing, what ICE is doing, is disrupting that process. So in that way, I'm gonna, let this happen. I'm gonna let you get out of this little, judge's little causeway, exit way, or whatever. They inevitably wind up catching him on foot. So it winds up kind of being for naught. But I respect her standing on business, and apparently this is something that Dugan was kind of known for. She's like a bit of a liberal maverick in that way. She's like, no, I'm gonna stand on this. I mean this shit. It's gonna be like that in my courtroom. I respect the vibe. I respect the energy on that shit. But another thing I thought of too is I wonder, we scale it back. This happens in a Biden administration, right? Does this all happen and shake out the same way with a conviction, with the resignation? I want to say no. Maybe I'm wrong there. I don't know. But, in this timeline, this reality, yeah, she's cooked. She's done. So she resigned. That just is what it is. So yeah, I just wanted to, get that update for the record for the podcast, because we did cover that in the past. So, obviously there's more details here, but you can go to The Guardian and read all that, by all means, pick your article. But yeah, next story from CBS News. Package at Arizona Supreme Court tests positive for homemade explosives, authorities say. A package received by the Arizona Supreme Court tested positive for a homemade explosive substance, authorities said Monday. The state court's building and other buildings near downtown Phoenix were evacuated around 8 a.m. local time Monday, while authorities investigated a suspicious package that contained multiple vials, the Arizona Department of Public Safety and the state Supreme Court said in a joint statement. The two of the vials tested positive for a homemade explosive substance. The court's building was closed as authorities performed safety sweeps. The package was later placed in a secure vehicle and driven away from the area. CBS affiliate KPHO-TV reported. A Department of Public Safety spokesperson said it will be disposed of. The package didn't have a return label. Authorities said the investigation is underway and more information will be shared when available. Now, I don't know what kind of recent happenings may have motivated this. Maybe this is just some kind of crackpot moment or something. I don't know. I would love to know if there's any kind of more repeat offenses. Of course, we will definitely come back to this kind of story. But I mean, ain't that America, baby? You never know. You just never know how a motherfucker gonna try to come at you. They might try to come at you with a knife. They might try to come at you with a hammer. They might try to come at you with a homemade fucking bomber. They might have their fucking Walmart special ready to boop, 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 boop. Okay? Fuck, you never know how it's gonna go down here. Okay? We really are a PvP zone. So, you just gotta be aware. It's kind of crazy out here. It's like mercenaries. That's how I kind of, I think that's maybe how that is how the international world views America, and that's fine. I think that's abs. Anyway, we have one more story that I wanted to cover. We got to talk some vaccines. We got to talk about some vaccinations. And we got a crazy flu going around. So, I mean, in a way, it's kind of timely. But sadly, I don't know. I don't rock with this. But we'll get into it. Let's take our last break, though, before we do. Ooh la la. All right. Oh boy, I got something in my way now. Okay. From Reuters. Reuters. U.S. cuts broad recommendation for 4 childhood vaccines, including flu. The United States ended on Monday its long-standing guidance that all children receive vaccines against flu and 3 other diseases, a sweeping change that advances one of the Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s long-term goals. Public health experts warn the latest rollback could lead to preventable hospitalizations and deaths. The action, which removes the recommendation for rotavirus, influenza, meningococcal disease, and hepatitis A, and states that parents should consult healthcare providers under what it calls shared clinical decision-making, was approved by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Acting Director Jim O'Neill, without the agency's usual outside expert review. It advances Kennedy's campaign to pare back childhood vaccinations. Last month, President Donald Trump urged the U.S. to align with other developed nations by reducing the number of shots for children. It's worth noting with this, and they go a little bit later in the article talking about this, the countries that he's more or less referencing to are like countries that are using a universal healthcare system. So it's like, it's just not the same, like what you're talking about. Like we have a privatized one. So it's already hitting way different. What we are offering is something that it's like, hey, we can't offer it as a government. We should offer it. So like, hey, like we're making it a thing. And it's like, no, we don't need all that. Let's just like kick it back like the other countries, but we're not the same. So it's not the same metric. And it's like, okay, but whatever. But go off, King. I think this is something that is bad. I can understand, though, if you're someone like me, you're a guy, no kids, really no big prospects on having any. You think you're fine, you're healthy, whatever. You're not, like I said, you're not thinking about any little ones, whatever. So this is something you hear, you see, whatever, no big deal. You move along. If you have kids, this is something that's big. This is something you're paying attention to. And you could also argue that, oh, well, this is just common sense. You're still just able to talk to a doctor and consult this kind of thing. But regardless, this is going to have ramifications in the future. When more people get sick, when they just wouldn't have gotten sick because they could have gotten a vaccine, that's going to affect your hospitals. That's going to affect your overflow. All kinds of shit's going to happen. I also worry, and this is where I get selfish and maybe a little bit too fantasy sci-fi, maybe even, but I worry about these things kind of evolving and changing and getting worse because you're giving it more exposure. That, I don't know. And once again, that is not me rooting anything in any kind of science. That's just like a fear I fucking have, that we make some kind of super shit kind of virus or thing because we just let this shit manifest because we decided, we're not going to do like vaccinations. We're not going to like worry about any kind of vaccines and things like that. Let this shit just kind of breed out or grow out and it'll be fine. It'll die out. It's cool. That's actually natural science that we used to do back in the day or whatever. That worries me, right? I'm concerned by that. At least when I hear that there's science out there that it's like, no, these are good vaccines. These are good vaccinations to take. You should take them. Your kids should take them. You know what I mean? It's better for you. It's better for society if we just keep doing this shit and learning more about this stuff. And like, instead of saying, no, let's stop it and then be more apprehensive about it, right? That is my concern, that we are trying to push this kind of narrative so that like, more RFK Jr. books can sell so that he can kind of, make profit off of this and guys like him can keep, making their fucking dough. It's concerning because once again, I don't have kids, but you should be like, damn, that's the future, right? Like, you should be worried about that shit, right? That should be concerning, alarming, right? And once again, who knows what's next? This just feels like the tip of the iceberg. We are now on year 2 of this shit, you know? So, yeah, I just feel like it's definitely worth watching. It's definitely worth talking about. Having the discourse, whether you agree or you fucking don't disagree. Like, and that's the thing too, that part of this article kind of talks about. Obviously, I'm just fucking freeforming this shit. By all means, look at it, read it, whatever. But like, they're like, you guys are skipping the step where this is supposed to go to an outside, like, expert peer review, right? Like, we're all supposed to be talking about this and saying what we feel and think about it. That's important. That's supposed to happen. And they're like, nah, let's just trust our fucking common sense. Let's just trust our American common sense, dude. Let's stop being fucking weird, right? Okay, please. So it's frustrating that is the common sense that we are choosing to buy and sell, because like, I truly feel this way. You can boo me and say I'm wrong or whatever, but I think it is the Freudian like fear of getting a shot. Like, you just don't want to get sticky pokey, and it's like, oh, no, you don't need it. Because I sometimes feel that way. I go, do I really want a flu shot this year? And then especially, that's when I turn to a fucking health expert. Like, you know the efficacy of this, and the current one, it doesn't even matter, you know? Oh, I don't really need to take it. You see what I'm saying? Like, that my Ohioan just kicks in. My Midwestern just goes up on that shit. Because, yeah, I just don't want the extra sticky pokey. You know what I mean? But I can at least admit it, right? Like, that's my dumb brain. Like, you should take these things, especially if you're immunocompromised, especially if people in your life who are immunocompromised. You should be aware about this kind of stuff. It should be concerning to you. I don't know, man. So I just don't like shrugging it off. I like talking about it. So this is what I decided to do. I'm just going to end my episode talking about it. And that's the news. All right. That's it. That's all I got. Went a little long on the blog. That was kind of expected. But, I crammed in some news on the tail end, as we like to do. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully we learned together. We grew together. We laughed. We cried. We lived and we died. But no, if you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/IsaiahNews. Become a newsie today. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any other socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow on TikTok. Follow on Spotify. Follow on Apple Podcasts. Wherever you like to listen. Leave a like. Leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. It can be fun. Oh, excuse me. Burping it up. 5 stars on Spotify. 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Always appreciate it. It's like the Yelp review. It is like the review. I need the 5. It's just super cool if you give me the 5. You know what I mean? When you give me less stars than that, it's like, ew, yuck, I wish you didn't do that. I'm withering now. So I guess if you're an op, then you give me less stars. And then you know that I feel that. And you know that you did that to me. Like the lady who said, excuse me earlier, you'll know that you have hurt me in ways that I'll never come back from, and I'll always have because of my, my complexes and problems, mental. Yeah. Good for you. In a dark personal way, good for you if you do that. You're like that. But otherwise, give me 5 stars or don't. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. I got nothing else to say. Thanks so much for tuning in. I do love you if you don't do any of that stuff. Obviously, brief smooches. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.